Oh no, Mr. Goldowski is a set of sorry recording people. Well, the other guy got himself busted, so Smith doesn't be all freaking responsible cover for it this time. Hope no one expects me to dance. Wanna dance? He grumbled in his usual brusque voice. My brain started to imagine the teacher dancing before it immediately short circuit. Listen, Inko, you were raised on Fortnite. You can't imagine this man doing the Colton. Yeah, me too. Don't you got something better to do? Get the fuck out of here. I don't get paid. I get paid by the line, kid, and you don't have enough money for me to be in this fanfic. He said with a dismissive wave of his beer. While I couldn't help but be impressed that he managed to hold and drink a beer while inside the inflatable costume, I took that it was a good enough excuse to get away and walk a fair distance before return. Did you really just use away within 5 words of each other? Jeez, oh, not 5. Within it's 5 words apart. But Jesus. Like, why you can't just say and walked a fair distance? You don't have to. Come on. Before returning to my chat, I uploaded the picture of the rather untoward mascot to the chat with Fang and waited for a response. Oh my god, that's so sad. Who did they even get for it? Goldowski. Oh god, I can't. One of the psychos who got censored in the remake is a Vietnam vet. He literally saw his wife and daughter get ripped apart and broke. He thinks he's back in Nam and Frank is Oh no! Hit Frank with the napalm. That'll solve all your problems. Hit him with that Agent Orange. You know, I always say not a squablum. Well, I think this is going to be a situation of squablum solved. Man, I couldn't help but laugh. It was a pretty unexpected matchup, I have to admit. Seeing our mascot look so run down, usually we're having an absolute blast, is definitely a downer in a sad but funny sort of way. Well, good luck, Dweeb. Try not to fall asleep from... I think I'm too sleepy for this right now. I have to pull through. I think that given how extremely decompressed the storytelling here is, and how we're having so many details that I don't give a shit about, we're just gonna put a little extra gas on top. Extra confirmation, didn't plan out to go back to work. I've only been 20 minutes or so, but I couldn't get the feel for it. Oh no, he doesn't get photography. It's almost like photography isn't really the point. Same thing again. Frank doing interviews. He covered wars, you know. He covered wars, and now he's covering a school event. I sent a few pictures with the athlete preparing. Okay. You know, it also is like paragraphs, right? You know, because like if you split things into paragraphs, it feels way longer than if you just go one big paragraph and you just put some punchies in there. I am the big EP. I don't know why. At some point, I think I just started yawning a lot, and who knows what. I think it's because the soup has settled, and my body is like, my man, we're turning on the parasympathetic system. We are having a nap. Is it the parasympathetic system? Shit, I forgot. Here we go. The parasympathetic is responsible for rest and digest, or feed and breed. And the sympathetic one is fight or flight. So, yeah, the parasympathetic is having a little dance. We are full of soup. We are full of soup. Let's have a nap. Let's all go to the lobby. I snapped a few pictures. Okay, looking around the fields, how other people operating cameras. Nothing as elaborate as Fang setup. Inko doesn't have. Wait a minute. Why are we copying the wedding scene? Why are we copying the wedding scene if this is supposed to be a crossover? Like, why are we... The wedding scene wasn't about that. The wedding scene had nothing to do with photography. It was about Inko building up some fucking work ethic and learning to trust himself. It had nothing to do with photography. In that sense, at least. It wasn't literally about photography. So, I commented about this. I'm going to comment about it again. Where did I say this? Where did I make that snarky comment? Fuck. So my snarky comment was like, oh boy. No, wait, I made it in one of my videos I recently uploaded. And my brain is like 50% not even here. I would like to do a little dance. My eye, it's full of salt from a tear that dried up. So like all the salt deposits in my eyes. Is this the one? I feel like we're dealing with the classic problem of not understanding the narrative utility. I feel like we're dealing with that classic problem of not understanding the narrative utility of things and keeping them around anyways. Great, it's a crossover by someone who doesn't understand the source material. That's what it feels like. Like, the point is, a lot of scenes, right, they're not literal.
They are meant to be metaphorical ways of addressing certain types of character flaws. The idea of the scene is quantitative, like, do we take lots of pictures or do we take a few good pictures? And the point is that Ben takes lots of pictures because Ben is very vapid and flat, and he wants to impress. So the obvious thing is you want to have lots of pictures, right? So that some of them are good, instead of putting your heart and soul into it, because Ben is a psychopath. He has no heart or soul. And the point is that Inko could be that kind of guy. If he just stops fucking externalizing all of his concerns and just solve his problem himself and trust himself, which is what the groom says, like, Inko, trust yourself, trust your heart. It's about that, right? It's not about photography. Photography is the character backdrop by which we explore this idea. And also the scene is just fucking well written, and I give a shit. Like, there's no personal touch here. In the original, let me backtrack you, right? In the original, in Wani, Inko goes to a wedding. Does he know the groom? No. He doesn't go on the taxi. But he does know Yatakan. And Yatakan knows the groom. And Yatakan invited him over for extra credit, and Inko was interested in exploring the idea of doing actual photography work. There's a lot of reasons for Inko to be there. It's his teacher, who he has a good relationship with. His friend Ben is there. He wants to learn about photography. He's there for like at least 3 reasons. At least 3. Right? And he has that personal element. Like, the censored parts in the remake, he calls Frank a Viet Cong and a filthy communist, and him being Vietnam. Oh, man. Like, the thing is, goddamn, is that we don't have that here. Inko is here because he does photography, and so he is here because he does photography. Cool. Where's the human element? Where's the connective tissue? Where's the part where he gets blackmailed by fucking Yatakan into this? Like, there's no fun setup. There's no interesting element. He's here because he's the school photographer, I guess. Who fucking cares? Photography is never why we liked Inko. It was a means by which we could explore parts we did. Yatakan was why we cared. Yatakan and Ben! They are why we care. The photography is just the connective glue between those characters. We don't have that. There is no photography teacher. There is no photography person. There's not even fucking spears. Why did you keep this? You're being literal. It makes me so mad. It makes me a little bapping pause. Like, hit. I want to hit my desk, but I'm just worried that I'll actually cause some damage if I do. All right, moving on. Looking around the field, man, how exciting that we're doing photography, and it's like, yeah, great, Inko, you got a job. Wow, that's fun. You could have been with Fang, who's like interesting, or Reed, or you could have had Reed here, but no, Reed can't be here. He's having detention, so no one we care about is here. Wouldn't it be great if sober Reed was here and Reed is like, oh shit, I have to be here with Inko? God, I wish I wouldn't. Like, my job is so fun. And he doesn't, and he gets jittery because he wants to be sober around Inko. Come on! Stop shooting yourself in the foot! You do that enough without this. Anyway, I had almost nothing. Inko doesn't know what pictures are. Where are we in this event? Like, what even is going on in this event? Maybe a bit of a heart of heart with sober Reed, where he basically, wouldn't that be great, right? Wouldn't it be kind of fun for someone like Reed, who has this Reed probably is like a more artistic mind. He writes the lyrics and the titles, right? He makes the songs for Worm Drama, so he's probably creative. He's smart. Wouldn't it be great if he had that heart to heart with Reed, like the Senator says? Because you're right. Reed is a great character to explore that with, because he's trying to stay sober. I don't know, man. Like, fucking, why is it just him? All I can think, right, is I wish Inko would leave the scene and talk to the characters that I fucking know instead of with this Frank. Like, it would be so much funner, more interesting if Frank knew someone, right? Like, if Frank knew Spears, and it's like, that's why he's here. That's why he got hired, despite his arms, because Spears likes him and Spears knows him. And we have that character connection. Like, oh yeah, how do these people know each other? You know, we could ask some fucking questions instead of just having a stupid reference. Reed is here. He's not. Carl Dusky is in the costume. Oh. Because Reed is having detention because the writer is fucking coward. Maybe. Oh man, the day is so goddamn boring because none of the characters are here. Oh yeah, Nasser's here, I guess, but Nasser is doing an event, so he has to be over there the whole time. So I guess we can have Naomi, and it's like, eh. Anyway, Frank's like, let me see your stuff. Boy wife says it would be better if he did a little photography and realized that it wasn't about taking the photos, it was just about the image of him being involved, but adversely never in any of the actual photos. Yeah, so, hold up. Let me put my little beans down, right? So I thought about this before. I love the idea of the reason that Inko became a photographer is that he always took the pictures because everyone is like, he's going to be out of here in 5 minutes. God, what was I thinking about? Let's see. The beans are down. The beans have entered atmosphere. But yeah, like I always felt that like the reason Inko became a photographer is because every single school they were like, Inko, can you take the pictures? Because everyone knew that Inko was going to be gone by the end of the month. So it's like, hey, we can all be in the picture, and it can be taken by someone that's not a tripod. And so Inko became the photographer, not by choice, but by circumstance. And I really love that idea. It also means that Inko always feels disconnected. He's always taking pictures. He's never in pictures. Like Boy Wife says, Boy Wife fucking gets it, right? Boy Wife and I are on the same frequency for a brief moment. But we're not doing that, are we? Wouldn't that be great if I would love it. If that happens, I'm taking a lot back. A lot. Not everything. Because the beans are down. You can't take that back. You can't take that back. Anyway, Nasser's doing events, but Nasser's not here yet. Man, how many words did we waste here? How many words have we just wasted on, man, I sure did arrive at the school event. Man, arriving at a school event sure is a fucking ordeal and a half. How many words is this? 2,000 fucking words. 2,000 words. And nothing has happened. This could have been a small story. Nothing has happened. Other than, I guess, Inko is like, man, I don't know photography, I guess. Anyway, let's move on. To be fair, Frank could give him a pep talk. The problem is he's not personal. Like, here's the thing. The reason we care about what the groom says is the groom knows the Yatacon, and the groom hired Yatacon. He hired his friend, who set him up with the wedding. So there's this deep connection, right? This guy knows the Yatacon, and the Yatacon knows him, so that you are connected. They have that strong bond. If he says A, then the Yatacon must say A too. There's that mental, emotional, social connection that we as the audience means that we take him more seriously, that we care about what he has to say. Frank is a reference who is relying entirely on the fact that he's a reference character that's good at his job, and that's kind of lame. Again, let's say Inko trusts Naomi and he trusts, say, I guess you could go through Reed. Like maybe Reed suggested Frank. That'd be great because they're like, oh, Reed knows this guy. Spears knows this guy. You know, maybe his parents do, and you can have Frank be this pseudo dad because his parents know Frank and his parents hired Frank before, so he's like a pseudo father figure. He's seen Inko before when he got taken along because they couldn't leave him at home. I don't know. Like fucking do something with this. Make me care. You're a writer. Your job is to make me care. Oh my god. God, I'm just pulling someone's. No. Oh yes, no. One momento. Are we back? Are we back? So I really do mean it. I feel that the emotional element is kind of important. Like you can't just have a random character give someone a pep talk. Problem that Tori the other one also suffered from is that the random fucking cowboy guy. But whatever. Let's move on. Main event's gonna start soon. Frank wants to look because he wants to know what Inko does. 8 points. Oh my god. Listen, right? That's a cute reference. That's a cute little jab. Because you get points in the video game for taking pictures. And I know that. I think for everyone else it kind of goes over their head and it's a bit weird, but you know what I mean. Got to work on the composition and framing though, but let me tell you, you got to be ready to jump at the slightest opportunity. I covered all kinds of things, even war. No, just give the full reference. Be like that. Come on, just have him say this. Why are you being such a coy little bitch? Stop being a bitch. Have some confidence. Give me the reference. Just blast me all over the face. And sometimes you can just, I mean, to be honest, this works really well for Frank. Like, Frank, this is Frank, right? Is he? He's fucking in there. He's arms deep in the zombies. But it would work better if we knew Frank as a human being instead of as a fucking reference cameo. I could only nod. I would prefer to go with I can only nod along instead of I could only nod, because that amplifies a bit more that he's moving with the flow. As far as I can say, it was right, of course. Thank God this character who has had like 5 sentences up until this point is giving me an emotional heart-to-heart. I met him 5 sentences ago. Fantastic. Great. What a fucking character to give you this lesson, Inko, instead of anyone you know. Like, again, let me put my little hand up, my little paw down, right? This could work if Frank showed up at least once before, and we establish that he knows someone, or we give him a scene, and it's like, and we see that Frank is, like, here's the thing, right? We do this real short, right? We show up at the other event, and Frank is there. Frank is not invited. He's not there on professional terms, right? Frank is there because he likes to be there. And Frank, he has a little camera set. It's a whole setup. And Inko's like, but you're not even being paid. He's like, listen, kid. I covered wars, you know. Listen, it doesn't matter. Sometimes the best shots are the ones you don't even see coming, kid. I'm here with all my setup and all this effort because I know if I put in the effort. And he then turns the camera to Inko. He took like a picture right there and then. He turns it and he's like, look at this amazing picture. Every time you want to use the word, say fantastic. Like, he turns the camera and there's like an amazing picture. It's like, wow, that's pretty good. And then later when we have the, I don't know. I'm gonna vomit. Also, you could have also kind of preempted this. You could have just had, again, just create that emotional connection. Just have anyone point out that Frank exists before he shows up. That is such a problem with fanfiction writing, is that it is so ad hoc in the moment. It's just, I'm a hurl. Suppose I can understand he was right. Of course, like, when I write stuff, right, I write the chapter I'm writing and I write a few chapters ahead. I know where I'm going to an extent, so I can kind of plan for things and hint at things. I can build stuff up. Usually I don't do too much that requires it. It's just the flow of things that matters more than anything. Also, I'm not very smart, and I'm learning. Don't think I apply all my own advice correctly, but, like, if all you're doing is writing the chapter you're in, then you can never, ever set up Frank, because you don't know Frank's there until you're there. And it's like, cool. This man shows up out of fucking nowhere. Like, even in Wani again, the driver does kind of show up out of nowhere. But at least we had the emotional connection of him knowing the guy. And we get to know him a little bit. And we get to know him a little bit before he does the thing, right? We kind of get to see him a little bit. We get to get a little bit, just a little bit. We get a little bit of setup. Like, this is his wedding. The wedding is there for emblematic of him. I don't know. I'm just saying. Alright, stay sharp. Things will be starting soon. Juicy action shots. I hope to God this isn't a reboot, Frank. We are far enough in history that it might be a reboot, Frank. That's terrifying. Fantastic! He pulls out his little grabber arms and various hands. Now, listen, it's fine when... Now it's just weird, right? Now this feels way too much like this is a disability that has huge implications. Because when it's just like the little grabby hands that everyone knows for like picking trash, it's... Now it's just weird. Stop making it weird. Like, what have we achieved in 2,000 words? Nothing. We've given Inko a speech from someone we don't know. Would be more fun if you were with any of the fucking cast we know that you have chemistry with. I like how Fang doesn't seem to understand that he's at work. Like, that's fine for Olivia because Olivia's fucking weird, but, like, shouldn't Fang know? You've done gigs. Frank is somewhat famous. Linda indie sized. If Inko recognizes him. Yeah! Like, Holy shit, that's such an easy way to do it, is you just have him go, oh, it's Frank. I've seen some of your pictures I've seen some of your scandalous pictures of some wars fought in the Middle East or something. Like, really short, non-committal, politically speaking. Don't have to commit anything politically. You just have to be like, man, I saw those pictures of the war. And man, so brave. You're such a brave war photographer. That's impressive. Like, I loved how you were in the middle of stuff. You weren't afraid. You were just out there. And you went up to the soldiers in the trenches with the injuries and stuff. Like, it's enough. Or like you walked up to a general and you stood up right in his face and you asked him the questions when it's just a little something, you know, so that Inko at least has that connection and can go like, man, what a cool guy, instead of going, man, this guy has a lot of fucking expensive equipment. Wow, I'm glad he has money. That's all we've got, is he has money and he's a character we know from another environment. Enough of this. He pocketed his phone once again. Jesus Christ, how has Frank not found out about this and beat you on the head for it? Come on, man. A few events. Also, I've been told that apparently, like nowadays, certain like iPhones have good enough cameras to rival certain like proper professional setups. It's kind of fucking hilarious. Still not as great because you know the depth of the lenses and stuff have impact. They do limit. But you know, if you're just doing some casual for fun photography, you don't want to buy an expensive thing. Buying an expensive Apple phone makes more sense because you also get a phone out of it. I have mixed feelings about the results. I hate this. I legitimately don't like how people talk about pictures. So let me just go on a tiny side rant. I don't like how many of these fucking things don't understand photography to the point that they are just like so non-committal about it. And I get it. But if you're going to be not non-committal, why are we talking about a lot of other stuff? I don't know, where were we? I was leaned up. Who leaned you up? Inko, if you are leaning up, you are not you. Again, weird specifics. They're rendering a guy out first. It fell. Apparently knocked himself out. Cool, making me worse. I like how some random guy's just injured. Could have gotten all. Oh, this is okay. Listen, remember our complaint? This is kind of neat. So Frank, Senator, knows where we're going with this. Frank is not afraid. Frank's not like, Inko, that's not gross. That's fantastic. I covered wars, you know. Inko, that's not gross. That's what we in the business like to call the money shot. Reality. Boots on the ground. That's what real life looks like. You know, that kind of stuff. Like, don't be shy of taking pictures that look a little funny. My little Pillsbury Doughboy. I know two characters that are basically Pillsbury Doughboys, and it is Inko and it is Lancer from Deltarune. That Lancer is so fucking squishy. Goddamn. He makes splort sounds. God. Hold up. I need to find that splort. Oh god, I need to find this. It's so important for me. It's this. Hold up. You need to listen to this. This splat sound effect defines my brain. Oh god, it's fucking it's beautiful. It's so beautiful. Oh, art in a tiny Pillsbury Doughboy form. Just treat me like one of your items. Oh, can you imagine if Deltarune had like voice acting? They would never fucking finish. They would never finish. End up like by fucking why. Anyway, the event was on pause because someone fucking died. Anyway, I was the guy that wouldn't want to wake up at a moment of machine blast all over the school. Of course, didn't stop Frank from snapping away at the scene. So if Spears is involved, why can't you involve him again? But like, isn't that kind of neat? Like, you could be about that. You could be like, he has a or Snoot game encore. Please, boy, why? Don't remind me. I legitimately think I'm going to. I think what we're gonna do when encore comes out, right? In 2020, no, not 2020. It's gonna come out in 2030. Okay, so in 2030, Snoot, it's come out. We're gonna play through Snoot game. We're gonna play through encore, and I'm gonna give some real sharp criticism, even if it's not warranted, because I just want to be an asshole. Where were we? There's no music. That's for a reason, because I'm a little sassy right now. Everyone was on pause. Why is the taxi driver here? Why is he here? I mean, actually, it makes sense. It's a sporting event. He just probably just showed up to have the sporting event happen. Hey, kid. I thought I'd go see the sporting event. Like, I finished my novel, you know. A mild guffaw. Oh no, his cheeks and embarrassment. But I forced himself to shake it off. Then he stayed away in the car until you got a call. I got bored. I heard a big commotion once. I heard a big commotion. I thought I would see a corpse. You know, I love seeing corpses, kid. I love to eat the souls when they're nice and fresh. The poor guy fell and knocked himself out. Rough deal. Aw, man. Do we even have an emotional connection with the driver at this point? Like, he mostly came out of Snoot game, kind of rolling out. And he mostly seemed to function as... Like, the thing about Snoot game's driver, right, is everyone gives him a lot of credit, but he's kind of like Tracy in that they're just someone who's trying to be nice and helpful. What's this? Another internet connection problem. My brain got reset because of the disconnection. Great. Where were we? Anyway, taxi guy's like, man, that sucks. I would prefer it if he just fucking died. Surprised you're not snapping away at this kid. Ooh. Surprised you're not snapping away at this kid, he says after a moment of silence. He reaches into his pocket and pulls out a pack of cigs, lights one, and takes a drag. What did he light it with? I'll never know. It was just lit when it went in his mouth. Magic. I mean, maybe. I wouldn't want that blasted all over the school or the yearbook if it were me. He nodded sagely as he leaned over the short fence. Even then. You seem pretty down. What's the deal, kid? Chop not shaking out how you thought? No. Maybe. Like, the guy he managed to work with keeps talking about how he covered wars and how he wants to take pictures of zombies, and at some point he started yelling at me about how he wants to take those pictures of Spider-Man. I don't even know who that is. Ew. I don't know, maybe. Let out a sigh, let the camera fall. Okay, we actually got some stuff going on. Let's put on something a bit introspective, like, ooh, let's go with Nightwalk. I like that one. He has that Deimos from Madness Combat for a lighter, where his entire thumb just starts burning. Fuck yeah! That's a magic trick. Let out a sigh, let the camera fall free from the strap around my neck. I lean back and run my head over my scalp. You know, there's an ancient Chinese saying. We wasted 3,000 words, and we could have just started here and it would have been better. I run my hand over my scalp. I mean, not like literally here, like you want to set up everything, be like, oh man, I've been here the whole day and I spend most of my time texting Fang. And nothing, I didn't even text anything interesting. I was just killing time. It's so boring. That like random bullshit with Fang. And they have like a little bullshit with Fang, so you're like, man, that's boring. I can't imagine how boring this must be for you. I don't know. I feel like you could have gotten to the money shot a little faster instead of having all that build up that doesn't build up to anything. Like, you're overbuilding. There's too many bricks in this wall. I'm just not really in the game, I guess. I keep feeling like I want to do something else. I'm distracted by... Because you're not a photographer sometimes. Not necessarily, at least. The guy looks at me expectantly. That's nothing. I sure doesn't sound like it's nothing. We're pretty excited on the ride over here, kid. What happened? Hey, you could even include this at the beginning, you know. Replace some of those 2,000 words with that. It doesn't have to be long, again. You only need a couple hundred words to really get the point across. Hold on, I'm bullying someone. It's important. I mean, nothing actually happened. I was excited to get this chance, and now that I'm here, I feel like I'd rather be spending time back, with a friend. A glint of recognition in the driver's eyes tells me that saying that was a mistake. Let's have a chuckle.
Alright, sure, kid, a friend. It's a girl, alright? A friend that is a girl, a girlfriend. You know, you're kissing, you're making out, you're getting married next week.
That's just a friend that happens. Man, it happens to me. Also, she's not a girl. Inko. Hold up. Pause the music. Inko, he is misgendering your partner. Be assertive. I do like that he says it's complicated. But again, Inko is the kind of Pillsbury Doughboy that would be like, you're misgendering. Wait a minute. This is bullying. But like, wait a minute. This is misgendering. Oh, my little Pillsbury Doughboy. My little Labrador Retriever. You're so cute. You're such a dork. That's just a friend of mine that happens to be it's complicated. Though as I said that, my mood worsened slightly. I feel like you should just put this here. This doesn't have to be a new line. Alright, what's so complicated with her? Oh my god, he did it twice. Inko, please! Restrain yourself. I watched as they lifted the fallen athlete onto a gurney and carted them off the field. The announcer indicated that there'd be a short recess before the event would be redone. Looks like we have a bit longer to talk. You might notice that I'm no longer pissed off because we're actually at a point that I give a shit about. Amazing how that works.